Thank you for joining Aunties Sewing Kits. I'm Donna DeMarco and my husband Dan is behind the camera. We're working on block 2 of the Solare Block of the Month. That's block 2 of 12. So look forward to the other videos coming. Go ahead and subscribe and you'll get those videos. We are doing the block of the month Solare. The pattern's done by Bound To Be Quilting and the fabric's done with Banyan Batiks. It is a beautiful block. It has a lot of little flying geese in here, and there's a little cool technique that they showed on this one to do it, and this is what we're going to be working on today. If at any time you like this video, please give us some thumbs up and also give us a like. And if you have any questions, please feel free to put it in the comment below and we'll get back to you when we can. So we have the same fabrics except for one is different from the first block. So the first blocks we did have 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. This time we have fabric 6, we have fabric 7, we have fabric 8, and we have fabric 9 again. But instead of 10, we have now 13, and that's this beautiful, it's got all these patterns and kind of a swirly color in there. So we will learn how to put these blocks together. And again, I've got my numbered pins like always. And this one has number 2 on it for block 2. So later I will know that that's block 2. I don't have to worry about that anymore. So let's get started. All right, so for the first block, it's pretty simple because it's the same as we've already done for the first block of the month. So this one we are going to take block number 13 and we are going to pair it with fabric 7. And we're going to sew this side, then we're going to sew this side, and then we're going to iron it nice and flat, and then we're going to sew this side and this side on. And I've already done that there because it's the same as we did last time, and it comes out really nice. Now to cut these little dog tails off, I do love this ruler because it rides up right against the ruler and keeps you straight. And I have carpal tunnel when I've had the surgery, but it still bothers me, like, you know, everything else. So to do the ruler and keep my hand straight, this works perfect. I can do it all day long. But in order to get those little dog, you have to be able to see. So I love just a straight rotary cutter for that one. Okay, for the second block, we're going to take a block number 6, and we're going to take one of the blocks from number 9. And if I can get that off of there. Okay, so we are going to take this one, put this on top of this one, square it up nice, and then we're going to draw a line going this way and this way. Not sure if you can see that, but I had drawn a line there and I used thread this time so you can see it better. Then I did a 1/4 inch on each side of the line going that way and going that way. And now what I'm going to do is, this is a little bit more tricky here. Let me move this aside for right now. I'm going to take my itsy bitsy ruler and I'm going to put it right on that line that I made, that I sewed a 1/4 inch on either side of already. And I'm going to take my rotary cutter and I'm just going to give it a cut. Then I'm going to turn it, which that's why we love this cutting mat, right? And we are going to line that back up and put this down and cut it on this line. Okay, now this is the fun part. We are going to do another cut. So we're going to cut it this way as well. Now we could do it right here like this, and it should come out good if we line up all our things, but I'm just going to take it apart. I'm just going to find it easier to do this, and then I don't have to think about math or anything. Now I'm not stretching, I'm just kind of tapping, because again, we don't want to stretch that fabric. So then I'm going to take this and put it right on that line, which I can also do this. And so there's several ways you can do this. See, that point's there. This is all there. Then I just need to cut on this line. And I got those. So I'm just going to cut the rest of these real quick. Okay, so I got all my blocks cut now. And then again, we're going to just kind of press, because we want to relax that seam. There we go. I'm just going to put them all in there. This is a step that I don't always do because I'm usually too eager to get to the final product and see what it looks like. But with these little blocks, I really do like to do that. So this one, we're going to, this is not the iron I use all the time, so now we're going to press to the dark. Press that open. Alright, I'm just going to get these pressed out and I'm going to cut these little corners off real quick. Okay, so I've got them all pressed open now, and now I've just about finished up on these corners. But remember, I mentioned that I like this one because I can see where I'm cutting. You can snip it with some scissors though, whatever you're comfortable with. If you're more comfortable laying down a ruler on there and making it straight, that's okay too. I'm just gonna cut these last couple off. All right, so now we've got our stack of those. Get rid of all these little pieces. And you know what? I save these little pieces too. My great-grandmother had a big hand in teaching me how to sew. And if I were to throw those away, she would kill me. So I save them. I stuff pillows and other things with them. And so every time if I throw them away, I feel my great-grandmother yelling at me, so I don't. Okay, so on to the next block. That's how we do that one. So here we go. This one, we're going to take number 6 fabric. We're going to take number 8 fabric, and we're going to make a diagonal line down number 8 fabric. Now this fabric is kind of hard to see, so I got my white chalk pencil out, and we're going to give it a nice line here, and we're going to give it a nice line on this one. And what we're going to do is we're going to lay it here, and we're going to put that line there, and we're going to line the corners up on the side, and then we're going to take this one and put it and line the corners up on the side. It will overlap a little bit, and that is what we want, so it's perfectly fine. Just want to make sure we got. Now most people will want to put a pin in this or a little clippy on the side. I'm not a pinner, so I'm just going to do it like this. I'm just going to lift it up here, take it here, and we're going to take it over to the machine. Okay, so now we're at the sewing machine, and I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch on the side of this line and a 1/4 inch on this side of this line. I'm just going to bring down my presser foot there. I don't sew standing up very often, and I don't know about you, but I cannot sew with a shoe on. I'm a barefoot sewer. So I got my 1/4 inch marker there. Now if you're more comfortable pinning that, by all means pin it. I'm just going to turn it around, do a 1/4 inch on the other side. Line that back up. All right, let's go back to the cutting board. Okay, so now we're just going to take our itsy bitsy ruler, and I'm going to cut it down that line. Let me find my rotary cutter. There we go. Okay, now we'll take it over here and give it a press. Back to the dark side. First we'll set the seam there, and then we're going to give a press. Give a press. Remember, we don't want to move our iron around back and forth too much on these little ones to stretch the fabric there. When I'm going back, I'm not pressing, I'm just bringing it back, and then I just give it a downward press there. Okay, now look at that. We have is starting with some flying geese. Alright, so now we're going to take this block number 8, well not block, but fabric number 8 I should say, and we're going to give us another line corner to corner, line corner to corner again. Okay, we are going to take our block and we're going to put it in the corner just like we did before, and then this one's going to go in this corner, and we're going to sew a 1/4 inch on both sides of the line just like we did before. Alright, so we're now back over here at the sewing machine, and we're just going to give a 1/4 inch on either side of the line here, down, and then I always sew down and then sew up, because if you sew down and then down again, it kind of mushes the fabric up, so it's better to go zigzag back and forth just to keep this fabric straight. There we go. Now we're going to do the other one as well. We've got that all lined up for us. Yep. And again, you can put a pin in this. I know some people are out there going, oh my God, she didn't pin it. I'm not big on pins. Some projects I do a lot of pinning, but mostly no. All right. And I will meet you back over at the cutting board. Alright, so just like before, we're going to cut this right down that line again. And this one I'm going to cut right down this line again as well. Okay. And we will take it back over to the iron. And again, we're going to set our seams. And then we're going to pull that one over to the dark side. Go to the dark side. There we go. Now I shouldn't have wiggled that one. It's going to be kind of wonky now because I did that. Do what I say, not what I do. Alright, so I'm going to cut all these little pigtails off again here. Okay, so just like we did the flying geese where we put the triangles and we sewed through it, we now did it the opposite direction. So it's the exact same thing, but now we're starting with a different color block and sewing it all up the same. So now we've got these ones and we've got these ones. And this is what we want to have right here. So now we're going to take these and sew it on top of this, just like that. And then we'll get that. Did with the block 6 and the blocks 8, but this time we reversed it and we used the 2 small blocks of the 6 and the big block of the 8, and then the other one we used the 2 blocks of the 8 and the big blocks of the 6. And then we get these. So now we have this, and then we have the reversed. So we have it like that, and then we have it reversed. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this side and sew it to this side, and that sews it together here. Now notice here, let me lift this up just a little bit. You're going to say, oh, that doesn't go all the way out. And I did the same thing. But then I realized we have a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So once we do that, if we go back to the big block, it all goes in. So that 1/4 inch will come off and it'll line up perfectly. Now we've got the corner blocks. So this is what it's going to look like when we're done. We got the corner there. We're going to take the very first step that we did these half square triangles. So now we're going to take these half square triangles and we are going to add the little blocks. And you can see that one on this one, but we're going to take the little blocks and put it together. So we're going to take the half square triangle and sew it to this side, and then we're going to take the half square triangle and sew it to this. So this is number 9 fabric, I believe. Yes, number 9 fabric, and this is number 6 fabric. And then after we're done with that, then we're going to sew it together here. Now there is a little tricky part to this. If you iron it this way and iron this one this way, because you know we always wanted to go to the dark side so the dark fabric doesn't show through the light when we can. It's not always possible. But this one here, we're going to use this one as the dark side, and it is the dark side anyways. We're not going to use this one because that way these interlock with each other to create this nice block. And you can just put this on here and see how those channels lay against each other there. Not sure if you can see that, but if you can lay those channels against each other, it locks it in and it just makes the seam go flatter. And with these small blocks, anytime that you can make those seams flatter is a good thing. So we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna sew it together and we get this. So what I did was I chained these, and then I came back and did this. It just makes it go faster and you use less thread too. Now we are ready to put the block all together and be done with it. Yay! So exciting. So we've got these blocks here that go in the 4 corners. Then we of course have the nice bright orange one that goes in the middle, and then these all point in. So I'm going to sew these together, then I'm going to sew these together, and then I'm going to sew these together, and then after I get done with that, then I'll sew these rows together, and we will have this. All right, we are all done now with our block. In the pattern, there is 2 blocks that you're doing. I know it's block of the month, but there is 2 blocks. It's the exact same blocks. So you'll have 2 of them when you're done. You get enough fabric to do both blocks, and you get the instructions and the dimensions and everything in the pattern done by Bound To Be Quilting. Thank you for that pattern. And if you would like to join us, you can join at any time. There are some blocks left, and you don't have to start at the beginning. You can start any month, and you'll just get it a month at a time for a 12-month. It's a 12-month program, and start at any time. Thanks again for joining us. If you liked it, please give us a like. It does help us, and please remember to subscribe. Thank you and happy sewing.